Welcome to this new video where we are going to discuss case study questions from the chapter Chemical Equations and Reactions. So before watching the video, if you are new to this channel, do subscribe the channel and give your love and support. You can also get content related to class 10 chemistry and physics and class 9 physics in this channel. So take a notebook and get ready for the case study questions. Before going to the case study questions, let's first discuss the chapter through a concept map. In this chapter, mainly we understand what is a chemical reaction and what are the various characteristics that help us to understand the chemical reaction. Chemical reactions are represented by chemical equation. In a chemical equation, reactants are written on the left hand side of the equation and products on the right hand side of the equation, and every chemical equation has to be balanced because we need to follow the law of conservation of mass. There are 5 types of chemical reactions: combination, decomposition, displacement, double displacement and redox reaction. Redox reactions include oxidation and reduction reaction. A prominent example for an oxidation reaction is corrosion of metal surface when they are attacked by air or water. Also, the process of oxidation of fats or oil is known as rancidity in food. Chemical reactions are also classified as exothermic and endothermic based on the exchange of heat. If heat is released in a reaction, we call it as an exothermic reaction. And if heat is absorbed in a reaction, we call it as an endothermic reaction. So this is a gist or a summary of the whole chapter through a concept map. You can copy this concept map so that you can learn it later. Let's move to the first case study. Chemical equation is a method of representing a chemical reaction with the help of symbols and formulae of substances involved in it. In a chemical equation, the substances that combine or react are called reactant, and the new substances formed are called products. A chemical equation is a shorthand method of representing a chemical reaction. A balanced chemical equation has equal number of atoms of different elements in the reactant and product side. An unbalanced chemical equation has unequal number of atoms of one or more elements in reactants and products. Formulae of elements and compounds are not changed to balance an equation. First question based on the case study. Consider the following reaction: PMg3N2 plus QH2O gives RMgOH twice plus SNH3. In the balanced equation, what will be the coefficients of P, Q, R and S? So let's try to balance the equation. The 4 elements taking part in this reaction are magnesium, nitrogen, hydrogen and oxygen. Note down the number of atoms present in the reactant side and the product side of each of these elements. Now use the method of multiplication and make the numbers equal in the reactant and product side. It is easy to convert 1 into any other number. So let's try to balance magnesium in the product side. In order to change 1 to 3, multiply 1 with 3. So 1 into 3 is equal to 3. Now substitute this value 3 in the place of R in the equation. Mg3N2 plus H2O gives MgOH twice plus NH3. So it becomes 3 MgOH twice. Now, as we put a coefficient for magnesium hydroxide, we have to understand that this number 3 affects the number of oxygen and hydrogen present in the product. So, the number of oxygen now changes to O into 2 into 3, 6. That is, the number of oxygen atoms changes to 6 and the number of hydrogen atoms changes to 9. Now there is one more atom present with number 1 in the product side, which is nitrogen. So now let's convert nitrogen and then come on to balancing with hydrogen and oxygen. So in order to balance nitrogen, we need to multiply number 1 with 2. So 1 into 2 is equal to 2. That means in the product side, immediately substitute that number 2 in front of ammonia. That is, in place of S, put number 2. So when you substitute number 2 for ammonia, again the number of hydrogen atom changes. So it will totally now become to 3 2s are 6 plus, again 3 2s are 6, it is 6 plus 6, it will changes to 12. That means the number of hydrogen atom now changes to 12. Now it's easy to convert the number of hydrogen atom or oxygen atom in the reactant side. So let's multiply either oxygen or hydrogen. In this case, I am going to change with hydrogen. So I am going to multiply hydrogen with 6. So 2 into 6 is equal to 12. That means in place of Q, I have to substitute the number 6. Now let's check whether all our atoms are balanced or not. So after substituting 6, I can see that all the atoms are balanced. That means the values of coefficients of P, Q, R and S are P is equal to 1, Q is equal to 6, R is equal to 3 and S is equal to 2. There is a separate video to learn the simple tricks in balancing equation in this channel in chapter 1 playlist, that is in the playlist of chemical equations and reactions, and do check that and learn balancing equation. Let's move on to the second question. Which of the following chemical equation is an unbalanced one? 4 equations are given here. 2Na8CO3 gives Na2CO3 plus H2O plus CO2. 2C4H10 plus 12O2 gives 8CO2 plus 10H2O. 2Al plus 6H2O gives 2AlOH thrice plus 3H2O. And 4NH3 plus 5O2 gives 4NO plus 6H2O. So in order to check whether the equations are balanced or unbalanced, we can check the number of atoms of each element in the reactant and product side. Let's take the first equation. In the reactant side, there are 2 nitrogen, 2 hydrogen, 2 carbon and 6 oxygen atoms. In the product side, we have 2 nitrogen atom in Na2, Na2CO3 and CO2. So there are 2 carbon atoms, 2 hydrogen atom and totally 3 plus 1 plus 2, 6 oxygen atom. So the first equation is a balanced equation. In the second equation, we have 8 carbon, 20 hydrogen and 24 oxygen. That is 12 2s are 24, 2 10s are 20 and 2 4s are 8. Similarly, in the product side, again we have 8 carbon atom, 10 into 2 20 hydrogen atom and 8 2s are 16 plus 10O 26 hydrogen atoms. So there is a difference in the number of hydrogen atom. It means the second equation is an unbalanced equation. So as it was an MCQ, we can already understand that the answer is option B. If you still have a confusion and you want to confirm your answer, just go on with the next 2 equations and check the number of atoms in each side, that is in the reactant and product side. And you can find that both the cases, that is in reactant and product side, for both the equation, the number of atoms are same. So the answer for this question is option B. 2C4H10 plus 12O2 gives 8CO2 plus 10H2O. Question number 3. Which of the following statements are true? So 4 statements are given here. We have to identify the statement which is true. Statement A chemical equation tells us about the substances involved in a reaction. We know that this statement is true because by looking at the equation, we can understand the number of reactants or what type of reactants are present in the reaction and what kind of products are formed in the reaction. Statement B, a chemical equation informs us about the symbol and formula of the substance involved in the reaction. We already know that we represent a simple chemical equation by writing the reactant and product with the help of their chemical symbols or formulae. So it's also true. C, a chemical equation tells us about the atoms and molecules of the reactant and products involved in a reaction. This is also true because from the equation we can understand the number of atoms or the molecules of each of the element in the reactant and product, and we can even identify whether it is a balanced or unbalanced, and then if it is unbalanced, we go for balancing the equation. So all the 3 statements are true. It means option D, all the above, is the correct answer. Fourth question, which of the following information is not conveyed by a balanced chemical equation? Physical state of reactants and products. We know that a chemical equation is complete when we write the physical state of the reactant and product, that is whether they are present in the liquid state or aqueous state or whether they are released in the gaseous state, etc. So A is actually conveyed, so it's not the correct answer. Symbols and formula of all the substances involved in a particular reaction. We have already seen in the previous question that a chemical equation does give us an information about the symbols and formula of all the substances involved in the particular reaction. Number of atoms of or molecules of reactants and products formed. That also we have checked in the previous question that a chemical equation do conveys as the number of atoms and molecules present in the chemical reaction. So if A, B and C are already informations conveyed by the balanced chemical equation, it means that option D, whether a particular reaction is actually feasible or not, is not conveyed by the balanced chemical equation. So the answer is option D. So that was the 4 questions based on case study 1. Now we are moving to the second case study. In a decomposition reaction, a single reactant breaks down to form two or more products. Decomposition reaction is opposite to combination reaction. Thermal decomposition reaction use the energy in form of heat for decomposition. Electrolytic decomposition reaction involves the use of electrical energy for decomposition, and photolysis or photochemical decomposition involves the use of light energy for the purpose of decomposition. Let's move to the first question. Which of the following reaction is a decomposition reaction? A very simple method to identify a decomposition reaction is check the number of reactant. In a decomposition reaction, usually the number of reactants will be 1 and there will be multiple number of products. So we can see that in option A and D there are already 2 reactants. That means they are not a decomposition reaction. In option B you have only one product. So it is also not a decomposition reaction, because in a decomposition reaction 2 or more products are formed. Hence option C, 2 KClO3 gives 2 KCl plus 3O2 is the correct answer here. Second question, 2 PbNO3 twice gives 2 PbO plus Na plus O2. What is the product Na? If you can recall, this is the decomposition reaction of lead nitrate. Check activity 1.6 or figure 1.5 of your NCERT science textbook. There, the decomposition of lead nitrate is given. We know that lead nitrate decomposes and form 3 products. Lead oxide, which is an yellow residue, nitrogen dioxide coming out as brown fumes, and the third product oxygen. So here the second product, that is Na, will be nitrogen dioxide. That is A will be nitrogen dioxide, and the number of molecules of nitrogen dioxide will be 4. So the answer is 4 nitrogen dioxide. Third question, amino acid is formed by the decomposition of which component of our diet? Now amino acid is something related to the chapter life processes. You have learnt the process of digestion there. So from that part we have understood that with the help of intestinal enzymes, carbohydrates break down to glucose, fats break down to fatty acids and glycerol, and proteins break down to amino acids. So amino acids are a product of decomposition of proteins. Hence the answer for this question is proteins. Question number 4. Mention the type of chemical reaction that take place when electricity is passed through water. So again, we know that decomposition reactions are of 3 types: thermal, electrolytic and photolytic. In thermal, you learn 3 examples: ferrous sulfate, lead nitrate and calcium carbonate. The only example that you learn in electrolytic decomposition is the electrolysis of water, and in photolytic about the silver halides. So in the electrolysis of water, we know that water, when electricity was passed through it, it decomposes to 2 respective gases, hydrogen and oxygen, in the ratio 2:1. So just check figure 1.6 of your textbook. You can see the reaction given there, and you can see that the number of hydrogen atoms released in this reaction is double the number of oxygen atoms. So the ratio is hydrogen to oxygen is 2:1. And since this reaction take place with the help of electricity, the type of the chemical reaction that take place when electricity pass through it is electrolytic decomposition. Question number 5. Silver chloride on exposure to sunlight for long duration turns grey due to statements 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1. The formation of silver by decomposition of silver chloride. 2. Sublimation of silver chloride. 3. Decomposition of chloride gas from silver chloride. And 4. Oxidation of silver chloride. Now check activity 1.8 of your textbook. You can see that when you place silver chloride in sunlight for some time, it turns to grey in color. The reaction that takes place here is silver chloride decomposes to silver, that is solid silver, and chlorine gas. So chlorine gas is already released from this. Hence it is turning grey due to the formation of silver by the decomposition of silver chloride. The grey color product formed there is actually silver. Hence the correct answer for this question is option A, only 1. That is, only statement 1 is correct. Hope you have understood the two case studies and the questions related to the case studies that we have discussed in this video. Thank you for watching this video. Again, if you have not subscribed the channel, do subscribe and show me your love and support. Also, if you like this video, hit the like button and share the video among your friends and family. Do drop your doubts or any kind of videos that you want me to make in the comment box. Also check the links of playlist of class 10 and chemistry and physics given in the description.